Hello everyone, Sunday Morning Backstage Meltdown. You know what I'm talking about, right? If you haven't, that's okay, just be patient. I'll explain right now. When it comes to Harry and Meghan, I often find myself thinking that nothing is ever completely thought out. I don't know how you feel about this. When you are a member of the British monarchy, everything that you do, including turning up for a charity, appearing on television, making a live appearance, attending an event, giving a speech, and so on, is carefully considered. At this point, everyone is aware of who you are going to be seeing, who you are going to be meeting, and at what time, and they are all lined up. Even taking into consideration this particular occurrence, which took place with a large network, CBS, there are a great number of things that appear to have gone wrong, and that have occurred behind the scenes, quite literally. However, is it because of the antics of the diva, or is it simply because the individuals they are employing are clueless about how to put together these specific projects? As we have seen in recent times, Harry and Meghan have made the decision to embark on yet another fictitious royal tour to Colombia. The question that may be asked by certain individuals is, why? Why would you do something like that? This is where things get extremely complicated and interesting. Since behind the scenes, this is exactly what took place at CBS. Of course, we have already informed you that it is all about the money, but this is where things get even more complicated. As always, let me elaborate. Rachel Reeves is the first woman to hold the position of Chancellor of the Exchequer under a Labour government, making her official appointment a momentous occasion in the history of the United Kingdom. Therefore, it is important to note that she has already made history. However, it is intriguing to consider whether or not this specific interview will go down in history for all the wrong reasons. This is because, behind the scenes, one might have thought that this was a brilliant idea. You know, there they are, trying to reposition Meghan and Harry once more, and they are finding that they have to rely on charity rather than, of course, anything, well, some might say a little bit more light-hearted and uplifting, since it appears that nothing is going according to plan. It appears that everything is going to go to hell. Take, for example, the cookery show, the polo show, and the shows that were not nominated for awards like Heart of Invictus. You get the idea. However, moving forward, what was very fascinating, especially behind the scenes, was this. Honestly, I have my own views and opinions. However, I want to know what you guys think. Do you think they are talented? Do you think their projects will be successful? If you think they will be successful, comment number 1, or if you think they will fail, comment number 2. Meghan believed, for some reason that cannot be explained, that this interview was going to be put together by the CBS Doyle, and that person was Gayle King. This is according to a very well-placed source. As it has always been alleged, there was no doubt that she had never watched Sunday Morning. The show that Jane Pauley hosts, Sunday Morning, scores rather well in terms of ratings. It was a pleasant, gentle, and somewhat focused interview. Naturally, due to the passage of time, this was lost in the midst of everything that was going on. It was very obvious from her body language and some of the more undercutting questions that Jane Pauley is not necessarily one of those individuals who would just agree to everything that the former royals wanted. This was the first difficulty that arose because it was obvious that Jane Pauley was not necessarily one of those people who would just agree to everything that they wanted. However, you should know that there was an underlying tension there, and you could sense it, though it was really eloquently phrased and very sweetly expressed. Obviously, all of the questions had been agreed upon, but you must be aware that the framework had not been agreed upon for them. Once more, this is where things become even more perplexing because it is evident that CBS wanted to have a significant amount of publicity surrounding this particular interview. Therefore, the bottom line for this was that ordinarily you would go on the morning program, you know, the breakfast TV thing, and sit there and talk about it, or maybe make a very special video that nobody has seen before. However, they were paying top dollar for this, and the bottom line for this was therefore that it was necessary for CBS to rely on clips since, as it appears, this had not been decided upon behind the scenes, and nobody was really eager to do that. Additionally, they believed that doing so would undercut the humanitarian work that was being done. It is now clear to you how this process operates. Thus, in a literal sense, whether it is correct or incorrect, this entire mess would cause a network like CBS to reconsider forming a partnership with the former royals once more. You can see how this comes about. Under the circumstances, however, Meghan was not pleased with the way things turned out, as stated by a source who is in a very prominent position. At first, she couldn't believe the criticism that it had already generated. But more importantly, she didn't get the headline she needed. This is because, of course, there are more significant events taking place in the world than these two sitting down and, as some may say, repeating old stories once more. No matter what happens, the fresh new group of people who have spent a significant amount of money to make these two individuals more agreeable are going to have a terrible time moving forward. I have no doubt that you will concur. To be honest, I think most of us knew 6 years ago what she was like. Quite a few YouTubers went through a lot of misery by highlighting her behavior, had huge pile-ons from her members, and even had the police visit them. They've all been vindicated, but a few never got over all the vile nastiness that was done in her name. It is great that the cowardly bully is finally getting exposed by the mainstream media. She brings nothing but misery to those who have the misfortune to be anywhere near her. Hopefully, soon, she will disappear from the news and we can all get back to hearing about the regular decent people in our society. It will be great once our beautiful future queen is better and able to resume her role. She is greatly missed. I cannot wait to see her lovely smile. Yes, I don't know why she isn't embarrassed to death. She's had every opportunity fame and money can buy, and she's failed at everything so far. I'd be curled up in a ball under the bed. All the best to you. Meghan will never make big headlines. She can't accept that she's not that important, nor interesting, nor intelligent, nor well-dressed, nor kind or sincere, nor believable, nor honest, nor nearly as attractive as she believes she is. I could go on, but well, everyone really knows all the things Meghan is not. I think the most important thing right now, Harry has got to notice that his life with all its privilege and others looking after details has gone down the tubes to piggyback onto a charity that supports parents who have lost a child to suicide is pretty low in order to promote Harry and Meghan. She just cannot wrap her head around the idea that on the world stage, they really have zero importance. With all of the major events and craziness going on in the world, they have absolutely nothing of value to add to any of it. Positivity and hope are what is needed, not more craziness. Keep in mind that 2 sets of parents said their kids died from drug overdoses and not online bullying. Keep in mind, we don't know what set them down this route. This was about abuse from online bullying, so why would the parents be there if it wasn't connected? As I understood by the interviews done with the parents, they actually lost their children to drugs purchased via the internet. That could hardly be construed as suicide, could it? Anyway, the world doesn't care now, except for the laughs we get when the Duchess of Dog Biscuits and self-serving Harry continue to make fools of themselves. The woman is a liar and needs to be stopped. Who does she think she is? She isn't royal, just an ex-cable TV actress. I hope the parents who suffered loss and sat down for this are watching all of this crying about not making headlines and realize they were used for her agenda. Harry has said on several occasions he thinks Meghan is his mum reincarnated. If the evil one is the reincarnation of Princess Diana, Diana would never have been loved by the whole world if she acted like Meghan, right? Suits Meghan to tour Colombia, and perhaps she'll add a percentage of Colombian to her 43% Nigerian. What do you think, chums? Oh, I wish I could be let loose as her impromptu interviewer. That would make the headlines. I have no sympathy for self-serving Harry. He should have put a stop to all the bullshit from the beginning. He's in it as deeply as the Duchess of Dog Biscuits. Especially, he is hoping CBS learned their lesson, and yet another door has been closed in that pair's face. Several doors of other networks were paying attention. Chewing over old soup isn't going to get ratings, headlines, or respect either. Not with what's going on around the world these days. They should have been told that by their overpriced team. Or better yet, figured it out for themselves. The enormous egos got in the way yet again. Wow, she really thinks she's something else. But she isn't going to get ratings, regardless of what's happening. And that goes for Harry too. Most Americans are sick of them and have no respect for them. Meghan should know that we don't bend the knee literally or figuratively to royals, whereas we can respect the late Queen or the Prince and Princess of Wales. But that's by choice. Harry, from what I've learned, was used to people catering to him and protecting him. He's grown up, and that isn't happening. If he plans to stay US, he would be better off learning this. After all, you can imagine the codswallop that Meghan told Harry about how clever she was in all things in the entertainment industry, from acting star to producing, directing, knowing all the right people to clinch deals, fierce negotiator, friends in high places, best places to live, eat and party. He fed her a line too. Sadly, the chickens have come home to roost, and neither can succeed on a thin tissue of lies, ego, arrogance, and continual failures of ill-conceived projects. He looks a complete sad sack, and she's defiant and controlling to the end. She's aware of his shortcomings, but one wonders if freedom, Markle style, has really dawned on him yet. Thank you very much for our video. Really want to know your thoughts on the issues mentioned in this video. Please comment on your feelings and opinions in the comments below. Especially, do not forget to support us by liking, sharing, and subscribing to the channel. Goodbye, and see you again.